Okay, actually the audio is pretty good, so I'll just keep going. So I've had a few days, just a few, like 3 days to kind of plan a few of like my next moves a little bit, and to put in place a few like routines that will hopefully help me adapt a bit more, and accomplish some goals. I have small goals, small monetary goals, small fitness goals, small mental health goals. But specifically, I guess I want to use this space to talk about some of my mental health goals. I don't know, I feel like I don't hear people talk about this, so I guess I will. So there's basically a few areas specifically that I am working on. The first area is decision making and internal conflict. So there are certain themes here, like fear of exposure, internal protectionism. So there are some things that I've done in the past. Basically, I struggle a lot with decision making. Maybe it seems like I don't, because I still make decisions, but man, if only you guys knew how much work it requires for me to make these decisions. Like, I thought so much about it before I do it, and behind the scenes, it's like a serious struggle for me. So there's like some prompts here, like, what does it feel like in my body when I know a decision is right but I still hesitate? What part of me fears being seen when I make big choices? When I delay a decision, what am I trying to protect? There's some action steps here, like practice language parts, like a part of me is afraid versus I am afraid, to reduce self-judgment, and trying small daily decision-making rituals, like picking something small, and like a food, a route, or clothing, and committing to it. I already do that. Something that you guys might not know about me, I've been through a lot of drama, I will say that, but it is not like, a lot of it isn't, it's not Tyler Perry level trauma. Maybe some of it is. It's like, a lot of it is mother wounds. That's a big one for me. And it's really hard because I know that my mother is a good person to other people. She's just not a great mother to me. That is something that's really hard to grapple with, especially when I watch her participate actively in positive mothering behaviors toward others. It's really strange, and I don't know. If you know, you know. If you don't, hear me when I say that, right? So one thing that I have done in order to protect myself and allow myself to like adult, is I've compartmentalized my life and lived with, I would say probably like all my life I've done this to an extent, but especially now I live with an incredible amount of structure. Like, whatever my diet is, it's not really a diet, but whatever my current food situation is, like, I will eat the same thing every day for like a year, like a couple months. Like, I'll have a couple of things, like, depending on where I am, what's close to me. I'm like, okay, so I typically like eating this. Now this is the meal. This is what I'm going to get every single day. And there's usually like no alternation in the routine. I would say for the most part, for the last like fucking maybe like 10 years, I've had like a sandwich and a smoothie. Some alteration of that is like my whole diet. and it's made it very simple because there's not much delineation from that. Maybe pizza, I'd probably include pizza. There's salad in there too, but like for the most part, sandwiches and smoothies are like my primary food source. And that has definitely enabled me to feel safe. Or like, let's say if I move to a new place, I learn a bus route and I find a third space. Sorry, it's a plane. Sometimes the third space is like just a place for dinner, and I'll go to that dinner place every single night. Or like right now for me, it's like the beach. That's kind of become my third space, but I'm even trying to like branch out from that. Or something that's really interesting is, I don't do this as much, but I definitely used to. Like before every single decision, I would like message one of my very close friends about it and try to unpack like if I thought it was safe or not. But every single decision. Which is like wild, because like nobody needs that much guidance. Like you shouldn't require that much guidance. And I think that I did, and I do, because probably of so many of the trauma responses I guess I have or have had in the past. And I'm trying to like build with those. And I want to talk a little bit about this compartmentalization, because I guess I've been doing it for so long that I did not realize how limiting it could be. Here's an example. I actually never told you guys about what happened with my cats, but there is totally a story there. And I don't want to talk about what is happening or what did happen with the cats, because it's very hurtful, and I feel like the person who did it, the cats are alive, I hope. But like it feels like I don't know how to, it feels bad. It feels bad to talk about it. It feels bad to identify that like I trusted someone and they broke my trust. But let's talk about the compartmentalization for a moment, because like I won't go back to Nashville ever in my life. And I think that for some reason there's more than one person who thinks that I'm like gonna go back. I'm not going back. I don't have any ever like intention to go back to the Bay Area. And I think and that's where I'm from. If you guys have been on this channel for a while, you know that I'm from the Bay Area. I'm from Berkeley. And I see all these channels, all these people making content about like how the Bay Area is so great and they've done all these things, and it's I went to the University of California. Some people who watch this channel religiously don't even know I went to college. Like, yes, I definitely did. When I went to college, I studied computer science. Before that, I thought I wanted to be a doctor, so I did all the pre-med courses. Or not for a minute, I thought I wanted to be a nurse. I got into nursing school. If you haven't seen my education video, I'll put it in the bio. I do think that education, especially in America or Europe, is a good social experience for you, because I do think it sets the foundation that might help you navigate through other adult phases in your life. And I think that that's important. I don't know if it's something that you could get other places. It would be very difficult to gain those skills in other spaces, I suppose. Yeah. I'm going back for a second because I'm trying to describe. I've been talking about this compartmentalization thing for like 3 weeks, but I haven't shared it with you guys, and I think some things might be interesting, because I know there's some people from other aspects of my life sometimes who pop into my channel. Like I know sometimes my mother watches my channel. I couldn't imagine being her watching the channel. It would be probably so disrespectful or hurtful, because I don't have many positive things to say about her, unfortunately. But at the same time, I think that I've created this space to live in my truth. So, it's not really about protecting everyone else's feelings. It's more about me expressing my own in relation to my experience in the world. And I think that for me, that is more important. And I've definitely learned quite a lot about self-advocacy. And so that being important for me kind of has to be enough. It just has to be. What else do I have to say about this? So I guess maybe the compartmentalization might not actually, maybe it does apply, but I haven't had to do it much lately because I've basically just been traveling. So I guess I'm technically still traveling. Like, I'm not going to be here for very long, but it's this idea of romantic relationships, family relationships, interpersonal friendships that are non-romantic. So just like, I don't even know what the proper name for that is. And then there's like work colleagues and acquaintances. And for me, I have very few close friendships at one time. So it's almost like a job or something. Like, if I have my best friend position filled, I don't need, unless something goes horribly wrong and I like lose a person, I don't like need another person. And I don't have to have like this, it doesn't have to be some, I don't know how to put it. Like, I'm not that, like, I have my own interests, I have my own hobbies, I have my own like life, right? So like, there's so many different parts of my day, and I like schedule my days out. Even now, I schedule my days out. So like, there are usually like a few different things I'm going to participate in on any given day. It's not just like one thing. And there are certain people who are like participating in those things with me. Like, I don't do everything like by myself, even though I come on here and I give you my perspective of the thing that I did, because this is my channel, so it's like, this is my point of view, right? But usually all of the scenarios involve other people. Not all of them, but quite a lot of them. Especially like a lot of the experiences that I share here are like learned lessons that I've gathered from interactions with other people, like relationships in the real world with other people. I have a lot of those. And definitely in the past, I've had a lot of those. So that's kind of some context. But I guess something very interesting happened for me, where I realized that maybe this compartmentalization might be problematic. So I think I've shared here, if I haven't, I am currently in family therapy, even with my mom, as our relationship is like not very good, right? And she shows me this collage that she has of a bunch of there are different images in this collage. I didn't give her these images. They're not printed out anywhere. So I guess she took them from online, prints them out, and puts them in this collage. Now, I was telling her basically during one session, I'm like, you don't know me at all. You don't know anything about me. And she walks over and puts up this image of the collage. And I was like, what are these pictures? You know? And she started describing the pictures. And it was very clear that she couldn't really describe a lot of the pictures because she didn't know who the people in the images with me were. Like, she definitely knew me, but like, it was like she wanted to know. She was interested in knowing, but I'd segmented her out of that portion of my life. I don't talk to my family members about any portion of my work life. And I don't talk to anyone in my work life about my personal life. And that's the safety mechanism that I have put in place to allow me to like remain safe. That's the easiest way to say that. To remain safe, I just clustered everybody and kept everybody in their groups, and I kind of made sure that everyone doesn't know each other. And by allowing that to happen, I can have meaningful relationships in each of the clusters, and none of them overlap. But it was like kind of a sad and confusing moment when I realized my mom wanted to be a part of a cluster I excluded her from, and how maybe like it's like she doesn't see my whole self. I'm just showing her the part that I want her to see. I still feel like that's fair for me. Like I that's just where I was. I'm trying to grow out of that. Those are some of the stretching that I'm trying to do, which is also another reason, if you're new to this channel, my channel might not make much sense to you, because like, unlike others, I don't just like open up and share every aspect of my life in real time. those are just strategies that I've learned from having stalkers, from having, from certain people breaking trust in certain ways. So it's a coping mechanism that I've learned to keep me safe, and it has been effective. I'll kind of talk about some of the other things later, but this is already going on 15 minutes. So for now, I'm going to stop. But yeah, I did want to just pop in and kind of give that, because I think, yeah, that's useful to know.